If you've watched my previous videos, then you know that Mexico City is one of my favorite cities in the world. It's a vibrant city with so many things to see and do. The food is superb, and it's an amazing place to visit for a couple of days, or to live and work from. And in this video, I share some of my favorite places to eat, drink, work from, or just have fun. So let's get into it. Mexico City is a bustling metropolis with a population of about 8 million people and more than 300 neighborhoods. But for a city so large, it's very easy to explore thanks to a very extensive and well-connected public transport system. For 5 pesos, the city is yours to explore. I found the buses and trains here are clean and run on time compared to other large cities around the world. So don't be afraid to use them. Just make sure to avoid using them during rush hour when people are going to or returning from work, because that's when they tend to be jam-packed. Ride-sharing apps like Uber, Didi and Beat are also good options too, and thankfully not as expensive compared to other cities like Los Angeles, London or New York. The neighborhoods are very walkable too, and one of the best ways to experience the sights and sounds of Mexico City is on foot. You get to experience local life in the many plazas, parques, taquerias, and mercados across the city. And you also get to hear the many interesting sounds that make Mexico City so unique. Whether street performers, vendors, or the famous Se Compran Colchones truck. While exploring the city, it's highly likely that you're going to work up an appetite, and Mexico City has the best food options in Latin America. You've probably seen other videos talk about restaurants to hit up like Puyol or Azul. But if you ask me, skip the fancy restaurants and hit the streets. The best food can be found at the food stands, taquerias, tianguis and mercados across the city. Here are some of my favorite places to eat in Mexico City. When it comes to tacos, you can't go wrong with some good old street tacos. Rule of thumb is to always go with a taco stand that's got a long line or a crowd of people eating there. Not only does that mean it's popular with locals, but the food tends to be fresher since it's being sold faster, and it helps to reduce the likelihood of you getting food poisoning. My absolute favorite place for tacos al pastor is El Visito in Navate. Tacos al pastor are tacos filled with charred, thin shavings of marinated roasted pork, pineapple, pico de gallo, cilantro, and lime juice. Son muy ricos. And El Visito is a former garage turned into a taqueria. It gets very busy late at night, but it's worth the wait. Or else head there earlier in the night to avoid crowds. For vegan tacos, head to Vegetal. It's a hole-in-the-wall taqueria in Roma Norte. I highly recommend going with arrachera and suadero tacos. Although I love tacos, sometimes I find I need to eat a lot of them before I get full. But that's not a problem if you go to Cantina Salon Rios near the Angel de la Independencia. Though their service is hit or miss, I'm always happy with their food. All you need is 2 or 3 of their tacos, which are large and filled to the brim, and you'll be satisfied. If you find yourself out late at night and are hungry after hitting up a bar or club, then try Taqueria Orinoco. They have a few locations in Roma Norte and Condesa, and they only serve 3 types of tacos. But who is complaining at 2 or 3 a.m.? Definitely not these people who are lining up. Tizne Taco Motora in Roma has some of the most creative and fun tacos I've had in Mexico. You must try the baby back rib tacos, the pulled pork al pastor, or the pork belly. They are all chef's kiss. For a no-nonsense and filling classic Chilanga torta, hit up Tortas al Fuego. They are well priced and have some delicious tacos or tortas that go down well with the cerveza. Something else you should try is the Menú del Día, which means menu of the day, which you can find at restaurants with signs that say Comida Corrida. The Menu del Dia is a lunch special, usually served between Monday and Friday, and for between 40 and 80 pesos, you get a 4-course meal, which also includes some fresh tortillas and fresh house juice of the day. You better bring your appetite when you have Menu del Dia. Something I find hard to resist is all the freshly baked bread and pastries across Mexico City. You can get them from vendors at street corners selling them from carts or even their cars, or you can head to a panaderia or pasteleria. My favorite is Pasteleria Ideal in Centro Histórico. That place is pastry heaven. As you can see, it's filled with bread and all types of pastries for you to take your pick from. And to wash down all that food, you need some good micheladas. A michelada is a Mexican drink made with beer, lime juice, assorted sauces, spices, and chili peppers. There are different variations of it depending on the bar or restaurant you go to, or even where in Mexico you are. The best micheladas in Mexico City are from, hear me out, Tepito, a neighborhood with a dangerous reputation. But if you brave it, you find lots of friendly people, flea markets galore, and big, tasty, cold micheladas. And if you are going to hit up a restaurant, then Expenido de Maíz is the place. It's not a restaurant, it's an experience. They have no set menu. They have a different menu every day, and they just keep bringing you different dishes to try until you tell them to stop. Or be prepared to wait for a table. And they also close at 6 p.m. Now when it comes to cafes to work from, which also serve great food and beverages, here are some of my favorite places to work from. Blend Station is always a great option. They have locations in Roma and Condesa, and all of them are digital nomad hubs, so you'll find lots of people buried into their laptops. So get there early if you want to get a seat. They have a wide selection of teas and coffees, and lots of healthy food options too, including for vegans. Because it caters primarily to a lot of digital nomads, as expected, you'll find that their prices are a little higher than other cafes in the city though. Boycott Cafe in Roma Norte is just vibes on vibes. Everything from the decor to the lighting makes it a place that you want to spend the day working from. There's also lots of seating space, both indoors and outside. Pendulo is a bookstore and restaurant, and they have locations in Roma, Zona Rosa, and Condesa. I love the environment and being surrounded by books whenever I'm working there, and they also have a great food selection. Speaking of bookstores, also make sure to check out Clarice Café y Literatura. It's small but cozy. Their chairs are super comfy, and they have excellent tea and coffee options and a decent amount of food selections too. Cafes are great to work from for an hour or two, but if you're looking for a whole day of focused work with minimal distractions, then it's best to head to a co-working space. Here are a few. Chez Vous Time Cafe has several locations across the city. This one in Del Valle has conference and meeting rooms, private cabins, and individual and shared desks. You can pay by the hour, per day, or monthly, and with options for snacks or without. The only thing I didn't like about it is that you just can't decide to drop in whenever you want. You have to book your space before in advance online. Homework Chapultepec is another spacious co-working space, and it's in a great location. There's lots of space to work from and very few people there, which makes it a great place to get some work done with minimal distractions. You can also head to the restaurant on the top floor to grab a bite and get a fantastic view outside. I love Coffee Fi in Juarez, because unlike the other co-working spaces, you don't need to pay a fee to use a table in the cafe downstairs. You can just buy a coffee and then sit down. But if you want to use the space upstairs, which includes a private room to work from and a TV room, that will cost you 50 pesos per hour. That's still a lot cheaper than the other co-working spaces in town though. Comuna Creativa in San Rafael is my favorite on this list. It was created in 2017 by women entrepreneurs from different professional fields. There's lots of space in there because it's spread out across 3 floors. There typically tends not to be many people there, so it's another nice place to work from. We also have a recording studio and booth, which is the perfect place to be if you need somewhere quiet in this noisy city. Comadre in Condesa is an excellent concept in that it's not only a co-working space where everyone is welcome, but also a community focused on women. So they have classes and workshops for new or working moms and even a daycare too. Depending on your needs, they have several packages and price points, and their space occupies 3 main floors. It's a very popular place with locals. Now the mother of all co-working spaces is WeWork, and it is also the busiest and most expensive too, and for good reason. It's gorgeous and spacious with amazing views of the city. We also have lots of networking events there if you want to meet new people. Of all the co-working spaces I went to Mexico City, WeWork was the most popular with foreigners. But if you want somewhere to work from with fewer people, and cheaper too, then the places I mentioned before are your best bet. But enough about work. Back to exploring the city. Take time to discover the many green spaces that Mexico City has to offer. Chapultepec Park is an obvious choice. It's the oldest and largest urban park in Latin America and one of the oldest urban parks in the world. It's nearly twice the size of New York City's Central Park. At nearly 1,700 acres, it's filled with museums, a lake, an outdoor market, playground and restaurants. It's a must visit in Mexico City. Parque Mexico and Parque España are also my favorites. I especially love chilling in the audiorama in Parque España. In between the trees and flowers, you can sit down and enjoy relaxing music that's being played from speakers. It's a place of peace and serenity away from the busy city streets. What I love about Mexico City is that you don't even have to have a planned list and an itinerary of things to do. You can just explore the different neighborhoods and you're sure to find a restaurant, cafe, shop, park, or see street performers. There's always something going on in the city, and each neighborhood has its own character and feel. For more reasons why I think Mexico City is one of the coolest cities in the world, click the video in the upper right hand corner of the screen. In that video, I talk about the many things that make Mexico City so cool. From the museums, neighborhoods, unique sounds, markets, and more. There's so much to see and do in Mexico City that you probably won't want to leave, but you should. And one of the first places you should head to is Xochimilco and spend an afternoon on the colorful boats sailing down the canals. It's an experience best enjoyed with some friends, snacks, drinks, and lots of loud music. While there, you must visit the island of the dead dolls, or La Isla de las Muñecas. It's an island with hundreds of terrifying, mutilated dolls hanging from trees. It's said that a girl was found drowned in mysterious circumstances many years ago on this island, and that her spirit possesses the dolls. Local legend says that the dolls move their heads and arms and even open their eyes. Some witnesses claim they even heard the dolls whispering to each other, while others on a boat near the island said the dolls lured them to come down to the island. Whether or not you believe the story, a visit to the island is still quite an experience not to be missed. A trip to Teotihuacan is never a bad idea too, and the pyramids will leave you in awe. It's a 1-hour Uber from Mexico City, but going by bus is a cheaper option too. In the past, you were allowed to climb the pyramids, which is an unreal experience. But I heard they recently stopped doing this, most likely because of the pandemic. But if they ever allow it again, you must definitely do it. Tiboslan is a pueblo mágico, or magic town, about 1.5 hours from Mexico City by bus. It's perfect for a weekend getaway. And there, you can explore the small town's cobblestone streets. Or go hiking along the Te Poteco hiking trail. It's pretty steep on your way to the top. And even though it's about 3/4 of a mile to the top, you'll still get your heart rate up. But the views are worth it. A 2-hour drive from Mexico City, and also easily accessible by ADO bus, is Puebla. Now you might think that Puebla is just another colonial town in Mexico, but if you're a foodie, you must head there. It has the best food I've tasted in Mexico. In Puebla, you should try semitas, which are tortas originally from Puebla, tacos al pastor, and tacos árabe. Tacos árabe are tacos made with pork and roasted on a spit, similar to cooking shawarma and gyros. You should also try churros, which are fried dough coated in cinnamon sugar, kind of like donut sticks. Champurrado, which is a warm drink made by heating milk or water, Mexican chocolate, and mixed with maize or corn flour. And if you have a sweet tooth, you should head to the Street of Candies while there. Puebla has more than 300 candies, and you're sure to find them on the Street of Candies, a street lined with shops all selling candies. And Puebla is also famous for its mole poblano, a sauce that includes 20 different ingredients, including dried chilies, Mexican chocolate, a wide variety of spices, nuts, and vegetables. And after hours of boiling, the concoction is reduced to this rich mole sauce. If you do nothing else in Puebla, make sure to eat your heart out. But back to Mexico City. If you thought the city was lively during the day, you should check out the nightlife. That's when the city really comes alive. You can kick off the evening with a cocktail, watching the sunset and taking in the views at Terraza Catedral in Centro Histórico. Next, for some live jazz music and the perfect ambience, head to Jazzatlan in Roma Norte. It's also the perfect spot for a date. If you're into mezcal, then check out Laichita in Roma Norte. It has strong mezcal at an affordable price. It's popular with people from all walks of life, from gringos to chilangos. If you're more adventurous, then I urge you to try pulque. It's an alcoholic beverage made from the fermented sap of the maguey plant. It's traditional in central Mexico, where it has been produced for millennia. It has the color of milk, a thick consistency, and a sour yeast-like taste. You can enjoy it in plain or in different flavors like banana or pineapple. It's an acquired taste though. Some people either love it or hate it. I love it, and I usually go to Pulqueria Los Insurgentes or La Nuclea in Roma Norte. For some bar hopping, you can't go wrong with Zona Rosa, the party center of Mexico City. You can roam the streets to find the type of bar or club scene you like. And you end your night or start your morning having a beer and listening to mariachi music at Plaza Garibaldi. For example, I've been there at 5 AM on the weekends and it's still kicking. Mexico City is great to visit any time of the year. But if you can time your visit, come during the Day of the Dead celebrations in November and check out the parade through the city. Fun fact, the Day of the Dead parade was not an actual thing in Mexico City until it was created and featured in the James Bond Skyfall film in 2012. Since then, it's become a tradition in Mexico City every year except during the pandemic, but was started again in 2021. So thanks, James Bond. And one of the absolute best places to celebrate Day of the Dead in Mexico City is Coyoacan. This artsy neighborhood goes all out for Day of the Dead. There's a 3-day fiesta with colorful altars, parades, costumes, live music, street vendors, and more. So there you are, my guide on Mexico City. Once considered the kidnapping capital of the world, is fast becoming a popular city to visit and a tourist hotspot. And after watching this video, I'm sure you can see why I love it. Do you plan on going to Mexico City? Or are you from there or live there now? Drop a comment below and let me know what you thought of this video. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Adios.